Greetings, Tube Dwellers, and welcome back to Heart of the Swarm. I present you Game 2 in a best-of-3 match from the Chinese CPL Championship, August of 2013, between, spawning in your bottom right-hand corner, the Invictus Gaming XY. XY is a Chinese player on the same team as the Protoss Jim. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, your XMG Protoss, ToD. Oh, little off center there. Oh God, oh Jesus. It's an atrocity. Prepare yourselves for the Game 1 spoilers. ToD was taken out. He complained a little bit about lag here and there, and just the way XY was trading against him, maybe that was the case. XY, though, doing a beautiful bit of a starvation play, bit of drop, bit of ghost action, a little bit of everything, done just right to take the game. What was that? Around the 20-minute mark? So now we're spawning on Whirlwind LE. How will we see builds diversify? In Game 1, XY went pretty standard, barracks, refinery, Reaper Scout, just a single one, into an expansion. He actually stayed in his main for quite a while, being a little bit weary about the tech plays coming out from ToD, because ToD opened DT Blinkstalker, very aggressive. Did not necessarily get him an advantage in the early game. It kind of did in economy, just in how long he held XY into his base. But XY didn't take damage from it. The damage was all indirect. It was all XY just wanting to play defensively to make sure he didn't take any damage, and he did a very good job not taking damage. He came out of the very early game with a little bit of a worker disadvantage, but he caught up pretty quick. A couple nice drops, and a third command center very quickly. Gave him the macro advantage right after. So what'll ToD do this time? He kind of dictated the pace of that last game, given that he opened with the tech play, and again, he's not doing any kind of really early Nexus stuff, whereas this time XY has gone command center first, following up with 2 racks. Interesting to note that in the last game, he actually got 3 barracks before getting a factory and then a starport. Now, I attribute that mostly to the fact that ToD was doing a very aggressive tech play, and XY just wanted to be defensive, so he got a lot of low-tier, low-tech production facilities early, just so he'd have a big army to deal with anything that ToD's going to do. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe he does something similar. Maybe he does another 3 racks. Maybe that's a stylistic thing that XY always does, whether he's being defensive or very aggressive economically. He's going to scout cross-map. He's not going to find ToD. These spawning positions do allow XY to pretty succinctly travel from his main and natural area to any of ToD's various bases with pretty equal opportunity. A lot of people will look at these positions as slightly favored for Terran, just because it's almost as if the broad side of the Protoss's base is open to the drops from the Terran. A lot of times, if the Terran's over here, the Protoss's base is kind of lined up towards the Terran, you can kind of just block off one whole side of it, and then he has to go way around to drop in. Try not to dwell too much on that. The geography of map positioning and air pathways. It looks like the 3rd racks is coming up. He delayed the gas this time, though. He didn't get the early Reaper. Instead, he opened with a command center first, so he's going to hold off on the gas. He's going to get it later, almost the same time, both gas and his main. And still going to throw up that 3rd barracks. So even when not playing a super defensive style, it looks like he wants to be very safe, even in his macro play. Not going to go straight into the technology. ToD just now scouting. He's going to go cross-map as well. He's not going to find XY immediately. XY does already have a bunker up. I'm sure ToD will at least be able to see that. That should give him enough information to know that this was an expand build. However, ToD won't know that it was a command center first, so he's probably not going to have a good bead on exactly what XY is doing and how his macro is proceeding along. ToD is going to pick up a Forge early, and he's going to get a cannon. To me, this says, I'm not sure if you're doing Banshee stuff or not. And ToD really doesn't know. He's still scouting, and still hasn't found his opponent. So ToD's being safe, although kind of safe in a weird way. I would think Gateway into Robo is the safest if you don't know what they're doing. Whereas a bunch of gateways is safest if you know they're doing something low-tech or aggressive. One basey. However, this cannon business, this is kind of odd. Now, that cannon might be useful throughout the game, especially in the positions that we see. XY is going to be able to drop pretty easily. I can almost assure you that at some point in time in this game, there will be a drop in ToD's main, and that cannon will come in handy then. Hallucinated Phoenix is going to spot everything out. He just now sees the factory timing. The factory always tells a Protoss how the later stages of Terran tech is going to proceed, assuming that the Terran is going to do a bio style, which is the norm against Protoss. Seeing the factory pretty much tells ToD when the medevacs are going to be out. You got to give it, what, about a minute for the starport. I'll try to double check myself as I go here. 50 seconds, so we'll say about a minute. And then I want to say about a minute for the first medevac to come out. Normally you'll see some reactor switch. The first two medevacs will come out together. So from the starport finishing, or I'm sorry, from the starport starting or the factory finishing, you got about 2 minutes before medevacs are out. And he saw the factory not quite finished, so he knows just over 2 minutes. It's good to have some nice round numbers in your mind, as about 2 minutes from seeing that, he may want to start putting some stalkers into his composition. He may want to start doing something to ensure that he can lock his front off and hold it in case a lot of drop business goes off in the back and XY tries to push at the front at the same time. Now, like this, ToD, not just putting some pylons around the edge of the map where he can warp in and counterattack, but also putting one right on, say, the fourth of XY. This might not end up being the fourth. This may end up being the third or fourth, and this as well, depending on the sequence he wants to take the bases. A couple different possibilities there. This is also kind of interesting. XY opening up this potential third/fourth of ToD, making this side of it a little easier to assault. I don't know what ToD has in mind here. This is a lot of bio. They do have stim. ToD doesn't know that stim's in. He does now. That tells him that XY has stim. Oh man, XY's going to pick off an observer. And he's going to get to pick off a few Marines, basically for free. Let's see how XY responds. Oh, it looks like XY's actually already found one of these pylons. That's going to give ToD a Marine kill, unless XY runs away, and he does. What a great parent, XY. And the third command center, is that in location? Wow, he does not have another one in the main. Sorry for that fast camera work, but I wanted to get back to this battle. Nice force fields! Going to segment the force very well. ToD hallucinating an Archon even. XY took the bait and focused that Archon in the middle of the fight. That's not at all what he wants to do. He actually wants to see this Colossi. This is not a hallucinated Colossi. That's a real Colossi. It's got 1-1. The lances, extended thermal lances, are almost done. If he doesn't get a couple Vikings out, you know, it is only one Colossi. It's a low Colossi count. But this could be really troublesome for XY. XY sees the third. That's going to put him at ease a little bit. He knows it's not going to be an aggressive all-in. And that's going to put him at ease so much that he's going to go drop. Wow, interesting. ToD being very responsible at protecting his orbital pylons. 4 medevacs. If ToD, oh boy, we've got a cannon coming up at the far end of the base. There are 3 stalkers in place, but that's definitely not enough to deal with this. This is a lot of bio. They're in the main. They are all touched down. Now, what's going to happen here? He's focusing the main nexus. He's not going to get it though. The photon overcharge comes up. ToD's army just gets here in time. Oh, XY. Big losses, including medevacs and gobs of troops from within the medevacs. He's going to push at the third at the same time. I'm not sure he's going to pick anything up here, though. He is going to drop off. Oh, he might get this third, actually. That, again, is a lot of bio. Yep. And it's right after it finishes. Nice pick off. XY gets the third base, all the while bringing his own up. So, again, XY being so good about holding his enemy off bases while taking bases himself. It looks like this might have angered ToD, though. He doesn't have a whole lot here. Never mind. There's the pack of Zealots I was looking for. He's going to move right in. He's got 2 Colossi. He's got extended thermal lance. Again, the 1-1 is ready. However, the The 1-1 of XY also in place. Neither one progressing to 2-2 quite yet. ToD is going to, in turn, deny XY's third. XY, nice moves, picking up workers in the medevac so they don't die. However, also losing a couple troops on the front side of this engagement. XY looks like he'd love to put together a sandwich on this. This kind of a force stemmed could pick off Colossi in the back end of this army so easily. Oh, XY, you got to be careful with those Vikings. Having a few of those would be nice. The Templar tech came out. It looks like it's only for Archons. I don't see any storm research being done. XY being really, really crazy with this pack of units in the back. Is the sandwich going to happen? No, ToD's going to back up. Is he going to see this? Oh, yeah, he saw it. Is XY going to be able to get away? ToD might have a really good chance to kill just half of XY's army here. It's going to be tough for XY to run with. Let's see, is XY going to do anything to try to take advantage? No. XY might end up losing all of this. Nah, he's going to get out with it. With most of it. He does lose another medevac. Plenty of infantry still alive with that. That might turn into a counterattack. Good that ToD sniffed out that surround. That surround could have been a little bit nasty. He has 3 Colossi. I'd kind of like to see him take a dive at this, but you know what? Not diving at it. Look at all these SCVs. He's got so many SCVs that are off of the mineral line. These are SCVs that should probably be on his third. It looks like his main's actually not saturated. His natural is saturated, though, so because his third had to lift, he's not necessarily losing a whole lot of mining time. But he is now. Now that that's landed, okay. That's landed, and the SCVs have gone back to work. So good stuff. Let's get a little update on the economic situations. High 50s to mid 60s. Those are pretty common numbers and fairly even numbers given the mules. So I would say neither one necessarily has an advantage right now. They're both on 3 bases. I actually like a whole lot that ToD has some static defenses in place. He's got 3 at this third base. He's got, I guess he did have, but doesn't any longer, have some defenses in his main. Getting up a lot of additional gateways. Let's get a total count right before this engagement happens mid. Wow. 12? 12 gateways. Oh, nice. Getting a little bit of damage on Vikings. He's got to be careful, though. Vikings are actually reciprocating a lot of damage onto those Colossi. One goes down. Time Warp is going to keep XY out. ToD has the army lead right now. Army supply up a little bit. The worker supply helps even this overall supply advantage out to being not all in the army. 2-2 is now coming for XY. And ToD is responding with just the 2 damage. Oh, engagement! Some hallucinations coming in. It's going to soak some damage. Not having charge, though. I mean, I'm hearing a lot of Terran units die, but all the big units are dying for the Protoss. I mean, all of the big units. He does still have Storm. He does still have High Templar. He's got a lot of High Templar. Okay, never mind. The Colossi did die, but that might not matter. This number of High Templar could be really nasty. Looks like XY is going to be afraid of the High Templar warp in. They do warp in with feedbacks, so medevacs with enough energy. Again, ToD saying there's lag. Poor guy. I really hate it for him if he's playing with a lot of lag here. In any matchup, those seconds can just melt whole armies. Milliseconds of delay can cause ridiculous damage. The worker count here, I actually think this is a mistake from XY. He's going to get a lot of damage done to cannons, and that's it. Yeah, the warp-ins are gonna win this. And meanwhile, ToD's gonna push up the front. He's only got 1 Colossi, but he's held XY off of his third again. And I don't, this third might actually go down. Okay, XY did just have enough. Oh, but the storms! Storms on SCVs, on the last chunks of bio. There's too much here. ToD's got so much bulk. He did actually get +2 armor. The damage is about to finish itself, but that doesn't even matter. This is a foregone conclusion, and XY knows it. Being held off that third, being pushed in at the front. Again, killing ToD's third. Economically, staying just behind ToD. But overall, the engagement went ToD's way. And he takes game 2, so that puts us 1-1 in this best of 3. And now headed to the ace match. So thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for the next match coming right up.